subordinate classes, and consequently, the subordinate classes must be socialized into consumerism, not socialized into production, but socialized into what? Consumption. This is why again and again I try to get across to people that one of the essences of an African-centered education is that the African-centered education is designed not to just see that you're better qualified to get jobs, to take advantage of opportunity offered by other people. You see, African-centered education rejects the market definition of why people are being educated in the first place. Because when we talk about making our children qualified and getting them prepared to take advantage of opportunities, we are also making the assumption that the opportunities that are being offered are not being offered by us. We are still assuming that the ownership of jobs and opportunity will be in the hands of other people. And I've asked people before, what makes you assume that the jobs will even be there? What makes you assume that whites will even offer you the job? Therefore, it is not enough for you to merely getting education, merely to read better, merely to go to the right schools. You are still making an assumption that those other people will offer you the jobs and give you the opportunities merely because you're qualified. And African-centered education involves itself then not with the mere qualification of our people, and not with the mere preparation of them to take advantage of opportunities, but it must prepare them to create opportunities and to create jobs and to create ownership and to be productive, not consumers only. You see, that means then that African people have to achieve a whole different type of consciousness than is present today in our community. That is why I talk about African-centered education as having an intentionality, and it is that intentionality that transforms the education of Black people. What do you intend to do? Not what has happened to you, not what you are missing, not the idea that your children are not reading as well, or they're not doing math as well. That is not the stimulus for African-centered education. The stimulus for African-centered education is, what do we want as a people, and how are we going to get it, and what are our intentions in the world? And how then are we going to educate our children so that those intentions can be fulfilled and actualized as a people? Because what did I tell you before? Colin Powell knows how to read well, and yet he uses his reading capacity to bomb and destroy Black people. So it's not enough to teach them to read well. Other Black mathematicians have worked on U.S. projects, nuclear research and bombs and so forth, so that they may be dropped on African population. Ronald McNair and others were learned in physics. And what were they being used to do? To seed space with weapons so that the United States could intimidate African nations and destroy African nations from 400 and 500 miles out in space. It is not enough to get your children just to read well and know math well. They must read for a reason. They must read for an African reason and purpose. There must be an African intentionality involved in their learning to read and write and to do mathematics.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. Yo, I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Um, my sister Cassandra, she can't be here tonight. She's busy this week. She should be back next week though. Um, and I wasn't gonna come on here because I got home super late. But I was like, you know what, let me keep going with it, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate anybody who come in or who will come in. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here, but today, if you want to come on here, if you got something to say, you can definitely come on here and or if you disagree with what I'm saying, you can come on here and talk about it. That's cool with me. I don't mind that at all. But anyway, I'm not gonna be on here long or get too deep into it since Cassandra not here, so that's all good. But we're gonna get right into it anyway. So, let me start with this. All right. Let's oh, I don't even know why I got this up here, but it is what it is. Let's go.
Mr. Trump, we vote for Mr. Trump! Yes! Mr. Trump! We love you! We love you! All the rights.
More than betrayed, beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the documented people.
Got him! Got him!
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you. All the rights.
More than betrayed, beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the documented people.
Oh man. Well, I don't even know why that's up here, so I ain't got nothing to say about it. But what are you gonna do, right? So anyway, let's go to this. As I wanna also touch on this subject, because this is a part of the issue here. But like I said, we ain't gonna get too deep into it. But we're gonna see the issue.
As a black man, why would I not want a black woman? Like, what the hell wrong with y'all in my DMs talking about, oh, you being weird? Like, what's wrong with loving another race? What you mean? Why would I want another race when I got my own women right here? I don't need another race. Ooh, excuse me. I don't need no other type of woman but the black woman. Like that's it. That's it. Y'all need to stay out of my mother DMs coming with that dumb ass talking about, oh, you need to try a different race. You don't know what you missing. You dumb as you stupid. You an idiot. You missing out. I'm not missing out on. I'm not missing out on. Oh, look, another Dr. Umar, or look, a follower. I'm not a bro. Like, if I love my people, I love my people. Like, what the? I don't have to go to a different race. Like, why would I need to do that? And I got black women. Y'all. I knew that shit was gonna. I knew it was gonna start coming. As soon as I started making these types of posts, I knew I was gonna get these weird DMs and the filtered messages with weird people trying to combat me about my preference. Like, I love black women. I love black love. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change.
And to be honest with you, I'm convinced that a lot of times when people come on here, it's because they have somebody in their life who they kind of want to cape for, but you can't get around the fact that how could you be for your people and not be with your people? You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they always gonna argue, but then of course they end up in situations where we must educate our sons. This is why we talk about it. But I ain't gonna get too deep on anything today. This one probably be super short. So
on Facebook originally and it went viral. He said, "This is why I don't usually date outside my race." Now, if y'all have never seen the movie Get Out, you better go watch it. So basically, he went out with this girl. They went on a date. That was a picture of them. And then she texted him saying, "I definitely enjoyed our night out, but I don't think my parents can find out about us. ... He said, "Same here. And why?" And she said, "They despise black guys. My last black boyfriend, let's just say it didn't go well. They literally set him up to be put in jail for life for something he didn't even do. Google Wellington."
now, this young brother talking to this white girl, right? If you haven't picked up on it, and she's like, "Oh, I really like you, but my parents aren't going to like you." And he's like, "Well, mine either," which is probably they probably told her don't bring the white girl home. But then he was like, "Why?" And so she was like, "Well, the last black dude that I talked to, my parents got charges put on him, and he didn't even do anything." Right. So let's see if that was enough of a red flag. And I'm not blaming him because a part of the reason why we talk about generational stuff and being able to relate with each other and stuff like that and have relationships with each other is because a lot of us have sickness in our head. We don't even understand what relationship is, who we should be having a relationship with, right? And then we get to a place where you might like, even though you act like you don't. I mean, I'm speaking for the young brothers here. Like, you might be craving a love so much that you are willing to put something aside, or it's something in your past or your history that make you hate yourself. Like, well, it's not even you, but your mother or woman may have done something grimy, and you put it on all people. What's going on, matron? And by the way, matron, Cassandra can't be here today, and I wasn't gonna come on, so I'm just on here. I'm gonna talk about the main topic in a second, but what's going on, Ra? Shouts out to Ra. I'm glad y'all are in the building, and anybody can come on here because this is an open topic here, So, um, my brother Guy, everybody coming in now, so I guess something must have happened, or everybody coming in. Shouts out to y'all. But anyway, like I was saying, like when it comes to relating to each other, we have so many psychological issues that a lot of it comes from our home and whatever. And then you get that grass is greener on the other side, and you lack love so much that you're willing to put up with somebody who would call you the N word and lynch you. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I'm gonna try to. I don't think I can start this over. So anyway, this situation, right? So this young brother, a high school student, texting this white girl here, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. And he was like, and she's like, telling him, "I like you, Negro boy, but my parents ain't gonna like you because you're black." And he's like, "My parents ain't gonna like you either, but why won't your parents like?" And hopefully it's because his parents sat there and told him, because your parents can lead you in the right direction, but you be so hard headed because it ain't like no society there in place to keep us on the mission. You know what I'm saying? So this white girl is saying, "Well, look what happened to the last black boy that I messed with."
Going on here. So I saw this on X, y'all, and I had to share this with y'all. So this couple, this interracial couple, went on a date, right? Now this dude posted this on Facebook originally and it went viral. He said, "This is why I don't usually date outside my race." Now, if y'all have never seen the movie Get Out, you better go watch it. So basically, he went out with this girl. They went on a date. That was a picture of them. And then she texted him saying, "I definitely enjoyed our night out, but I don't think my parents can find out about us. ... He said, "Same here. And why?"
Now, See, if you pay attention to that part, he said, well, she said, my parents can't find out. And he said, mine either. Right. So his parents probably told him, you better not bring no white girl home. Right. But he was like, why won't yours? Let me guess why. But
And she said, they despise black guys. My last black boyfriend, let's just say it didn't go well. They literally set him up to be put in jail for life for something he didn't even do. Google Wellington. I really like.
my last black boyfriend, they set him up to put him in jail for something he didn't even do. And then they blanked out the name. So I don't know if it's true or not. Something Wellington, which probably more likely is true. Right. Let's see if that was enough of a red flag for him to have some self-respect for himself and say, hey, I could end up in a situation where somebody falsely accused me, right? Because I'm standing up for my brother who was done wrong, right? Have enough self-love.
Like you, but I don't want anything to happen to you. Not giving his government name. And then he replied and said, I like you too. And yeah, that's crazy. I went to school with him. Maybe if you sat down and had a conversation with them, they'll loosen up.
Oh
Think
yeah.
they would be down for dinner? And
Oh yeah, because you can always talk some sense into him.
she said, I'll ask, LOL, because I really like you and I will not lose you. And then he said, I don't want to lose you either. And then she basically said that her mom and stepdad would be open to meeting that evening. So I guess he meets the parents. He takes a screenshot of the dinner and shows receipts of the meeting. This is so creepy. So he took her phone and saw a message. This is so creepy, y'all. Saying this. He said, it says basically that was her talking to her mom, mommy love. He seems well put together, but it's something about him me and Jeff don't approve of. He seems like he would be good around the house for things we need, but not for a relationship. Try to convince him to start working for us. And once we take a trip to the mountains this summer, well, know the rest. Well, you know the rest. What? And then she
Now, he could end up like that Jamaican brother who went hunting and his wife told him don't do it. There's people is telling these people don't do it. Or, playing in the river. Like, oh, my friend, they was just playing. They just pushed me into a raging river and I almost drowned and killed myself. But they was just playing. I still loved them. You see, he was like, maybe we can talk. I don't want to lose you. I don't know. We sick in the head.
said, Mom, I really like him. Can I at least keep him? He's very sweet. What? And then she said, not at all. Dating a black guy in the South, especially Mississippi, is not recommended. Do as you're instructed, please. You'll find someone better. And then she says, okay, I'll let him know that Jeff is hiring for work around the house. And like, what? He then posted this post on FB saying, so this is why I stopped dating outside my race, would be good and set up. And to this day, she still don't know that I saw those messages in her phone because I left afterwards and never said nothing else about it. Be careful out here, especially in Mississippi. Y'all better be safe. This is crazy. This is literally insane that this is a true story.
Yeah, insane. And literally, the first one that say a comment here says, been smashing a snow bunny since 2000. Not one problem. Okay, buddy. I don't know. Is this xenophilic? What does that word mean? Xenophilic Negro thinks he can talk them out of their racism. He wants a white girl so bad that he willing to risk his life for some interracial sex. And she sees him as a pet. She said, can we keep him? She was like, no, do as you're told. There'll be plenty of Negroes just like this one for you to just make sure you get him to stay around till we take him to the woods somewhere. And he gonna go. And he probably lied to his parents and tell them that they're going somewhere else. But this is one of the main reasons why you want to reverse all of these generational what they call curses, but trauma and a mind state that we have when we look into the mirror and we hate what we see, to the point that we want to make our next generation lighter so they may not have to go through it, because that's somehow easier than just standing up right now and doing what you got to do. It's a sickness, man. But speaking of this, because we're gonna find out about this together, because I ain't even do no research on this stuff before I came on here. But I did see this, right? Because I did want to put something together of what we would have talked about today. Now I see apparently the thing in the Tyrese Nichols, they are not guilty. So let's see here.
Look on dollar.com to get our lowest rates.
Why are you in my house?
How did we get here? The path to this day comes some 2 years and 5 months after Nichols was initially stopped in Hickory Hill. Since then, it has been a long and tedious process for those involved, and for Nichols' family, a painful and emotional time. Here's WRG's Shay Arthur with a look at how we got here.
Where they are.
For the last 8 days, we've taken you inside a Shelby County courtroom. Sometimes they were tense.
Okay, xenophilic, meaning liking foreign people, cultures, and customs. They enjoy dating outside there. They're definitely xenophilic. Yeah, that's a fact.
He got out of the car and he grabbed the guy that he thought had done something wrong.
Other times, emotional testimony. Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy spoke to us about his team of attorneys on the case.
They've worked very hard for a long time in preparing this case. They were very thoroughly prepared, and they fought really hard to get justice for Tyre Nichols.
What's been discussed with so many closely watching goes back to this intersection, January 7th, 2023, at Ross and Rains Roads, where police claim they initially attempted to stop Tyre Nichols and ultimately ended in this quiet neighborhood about half a mile down the street, which we later learned from watching MPD body and dash camera video was also where Nichols was repeatedly punched and kicked not far from his family home. 3 days later, he died at the hospital. 10 days later, 5 Memphis police officers are fired, including the 3 who have been on trial: Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith. The 2 others have reached other agreements on their charges. On January 26th, the group was indicted in state court.
I don't gotta see this part. Let's see. What's going on, my brother Anthony? And like I said, this is an open jump, so y'all can come on here. I'm doing my SB on here right now.
That this is a unanimous verdict.
Considra can't be here.
We'll read the verdict.
Shouts out to Considra.
As follows: an indictment 2300241, State of Tennessee versus Tadarius
And
Bean,
there's a black judge.
Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith. If counsel would like to stand with their clients.
Yo, and Ms. Wilson at the beginning, he said it's not enough to teach your children how to read, because so-and-so can read, but then he studies and speaks well, so he can talk about bombing black countries and justifying black crimes against black people. It's not enough to teach them how to read. You have to teach them how to read like through their own eyes.
The verdicts read as follows. Count 1, second-degree murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Tadarius Bean, not guilty. Count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant, Demetrius Haley, not guilty. Count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant, Justice Smith, not guilty. Count 2. Aggravated assault, acting guilty.
And how bad it is in terms around the world when that happened. And for all the officers to be found not guilty, but I say all, there were 2 co-defendants, one of whom took the stand, one did not. And the one that did not take the stand, Emmett Martin, Desmond Mills did testify, but Emmett Martin was invoked in the closing arguments for these individuals by saying they should not be punished for what he did, what he instigated. And sometimes when you have that missing person in the courtroom, that can weigh on jurors. Why is that person who perhaps is more culpable not here facing a trial?
And you are right. It's a good thing to point out that two have been held accountable. They did enter.
Say what? How do Europeans think? Like, what the? Oh, because they let one. So none of them should be punished then. Oh.
Pleased, and that's a good thing at the end of the day. And you're right, they may have looked at that and said, well, where's that guy? Look at him and how bad it is in terms of what he was doing. I just have to comment, Julia, on, again, I can't even imagine. I don't know that they were necessarily expecting not guilty. They were probably obviously hoping for not guilty, but how they must be feeling not guilty of all 7 charges.
Across the board.
Across the board.
Second-degree murder was going to perhaps be the most difficult one for this jury to come to, but I didn't expect that they would.
Crazy, right? What do you know?
We are following some breaking news. 3 former Memphis police officers have just been found not guilty on all charges in the state trial over the beating death of Tyree Nichols. The jury reached.
Yo, what up, my brother?
Hey, what's happening, forecast?
Not much, not much.
Yeah, man, it's chilling, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, we're chilling,
You all right
man.
today, bro?
Yeah, I mean, man, it's been a long day, man. I'm wore out, man. You know, just run around, you know, doing household stuff, working stuff around the house. You know, cutting grass, doing hedges, fixing plumbing, washing clothes. Yeah, man, just tired, man. Just really more tired in the mind, man, of seeing all these crazy ass Negroes, man, running around with this damn bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't even seen the young brother with the white girl.
Yeah, man, that shit that just crazy as hell, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You seen this, right, with Tyrese Nichols?
Yeah, I was checking it out, man.
Yeah, let me play this last video.
All right, go ahead, man.
Reaching that verdict on just the second day of deliberations. Let's get right to NBC News correspondent George Solis. He's been tracking this. He joins us now. George, take us through the verdict and the reaction inside the court.
Yeah, this verdict was unanimous over the course of 2 days after a trial had started back on April 28th. The jury coming back and delivering a not guilty verdict for all of the 7 counts in this indictment. They are as followed. The most serious, of course, being that second-degree murder charge. You heard the jury there saying not guilty for Demetrius Haley, Tadarius Bean, and Justice Smith. On count 2 for the aggravated assault act in concert, not guilty. For count 3, aggravated kidnapping, not guilty. Count 4, aggravated kidnapping, not guilty. Count 5, official misconduct. And then count 6, which was another count of official misconduct, both not guilty. And then count 7, that official oppression charge, also found not guilty. Within the courtroom, you saw a number of hugs that were taking place, obviously, from the officers. They're the former officers, their elation on their faces after this verdict was read. Again, these 3 officers still face the prospect of years in prison after they were convicted in federal court of charges last year. Again, these were for the state charges. Some more reaction coming in forthcoming. We are waiting to hear from attorney Ben Crump, who we understand also put out a statement shortly after this verdict was read. We'll go ahead and get that to you. We have not heard at this point if there's any reaction from the mother of Tyree Nichols, who was one of the state's witnesses in this case. Very emotional, again, during this trial that began back on April 28th.
And you see, like, the little boys that you see, like, in the last one, they grow up to be men, or supposedly, that have such a hatred for they self, and they just see that, because, and I get it, I get why, you know what I'm saying? Which is why I always be like, you know, I'm not as hard on the coon or whatever, right? But that does not mean that there is not consequences when you violate or you go against the law and you harm a black person. That is the law. You harm a black person, you have to be punished. No other way around it. You know what I'm saying? And you can judge by scale, by whatever. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I understand the responsibility that we also have into creating an environment for these little boys not to grow up into Negroes. Is a Negro is a nigger factory. America is a nigger factory, not a Negro factory, a nigger factory. Right? It produces niggas, right? By the time from your birth, you know what I'm saying, to everything you see on TV, to everything that you learn in school, to the jobs that you hold, all the way until you ready to die, right? And there's always the old black man doing the work of everybody else, just so everybody else, just on a small scale. You look around, like, just doing work. It's the old black man holding up everybody else's weight, hurting himself, while the other person just chills and all damn near expects it, right? Because there is no consequences, like you. And then when it comes internally, you start growing up and seeing that, and you get little boys that put themselves in terrible situations, and then they grow up to hate themselves and everybody that look like them, you know. But is you controlling the images that they see? Are you controlling the education that they get? Are you controlling the jobs that they get? Or do they have to go to somebody else to get those things and submit to get those things? But anyway, yo, what you want to say, my brother?
No, I'm just saying, man. I agree. I agree with you. I'm gonna have to go in this other room, man. I agree with you 100%, man. It is. We got to go and call it what it is, man, and stop being nice. It's the American nigger factory, like you said. You know what I'm saying? I was, man. You know, it's ironic, man. You know, I was looking at that video not too long ago. You know, brother Dale Jones. But I'm just saying, forecast. I heard a brother. A brother told me a brother who was supposed to be in the black consciousness. You know what I'm saying? A brother said we was on a panel. He said, since we not at war right now, we was talking about something else. But this is what I'm saying. This brother is a school teacher. How in the hell you gonna be a brother, a black man and a school teacher, and say something like we not at war? Because the American public school system is one of the main parts of the American nigger factory. You know what I'm saying? Turning out our young boys, into being niggas. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I mean, you know, brother, you on the front line as a teacher. You know, you on the front line. You're an educator. You on the front line in this battle, man. And I'm just saying, I mean, by the time our young brothers get past high school age, man, it's over with. You know, it's prison, it's the streets, it's the penitentiary. Then, you know what I'm saying? If we don't get them while they're in school, you know, I mean, and from a young age of school, from like kindergarten on up until it's time for them to get out, then we fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, see, when I growed up, forecast, I don't know how it was, how it was where you at. But when I was growing up, we had a whole bunch of teachers that cared, man. We had a lot of black teachers. I'm from a black community. We had black teachers that just come.
Hey, you breaking up? You breaking up, yo?
I'm gonna go in that other room anyway, though, man. Okay, go ahead, go there. I'll catch back up with you in a little bit.
You staying on this, wrong?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go in another room, and I'll be right back.
All right. So yeah, man. And listen, and I appreciate that, you know. And the thing is, though, right? I'm trying to be in the line. I'm not on the front line, and I have to earn my way onto that, you know. And I want to show you a brother who is on the front lines, you know what I'm saying, or did some frontline stuff, you know what I mean? And I guess a lot of people were asking me, well, what's the answer then? You know, we tried to go to their court and say, hey, Mr. Um, anti-me, please don't be anti-me. And it didn't work. And a lot of people would ask me, well, what's the answer? What's the answer? I know Raw knows the answer already, you know, but I'll let I'll let you see this next thing here, right? So check this out, right? Now the police killed this man's son, right? All right. Now the police then killed this man's son, right? And you guys sent the woman cop out there.
I just want my brother to see me. My brothers can't see me. They did this shit before. They did this. They did this shit before. They did it before. I got video on them messing with.
It's not the way to do it. Says some fools with the death penalty in there. They have the death penalty and tell you, oh, that violence is not the way to do it. No, of course not. Except for like when you carry gun. Okay, how about this? You turn in all of your guns, right? And then we'll get off that stuff then. How about that? You tell the police to give up all of their guns then first in the military and all of that. Right? You American, right? I mean, you know what America spends their money on?
My brother, I ain't do nothing. I just want my brother to see me.
The suspect's brother demanding to see him, deputies swarming around the man. The suspect remains held without bail, his attorney entering a not guilty plea. Tonight in Cincinnati, the sudden outburst during a hearing for a suspect accused of killing a sheriff's deputy. The suspect's brother demanding to see him, deputies swarming around the man. The suspect remains held without bail, his attorney entering a not guilty.
This Rodney Hinton Jr. situation in Cincinnati, Ohio, people, let me tell you something. Regardless of how law enforcement tries to look in court at that arraignment, regardless of how tough they try to appear, you know, looking tough, looking hard with the Flintstone faces, you know, let me tell you something. Them cops, law enforcement that was in that room, in that place in Ohio or other places nationwide are terrified. All that tough stuff in the courtroom was just some blue line camaraderie BS. It's all for a show. A bunch of tough guys, they're in there with a whole bunch of numbers with guns. The other people with absolutely nothing. Those guys in that courtroom standing around looking tough, they're thinking, could it be me? Could it be me who was a random casualty for something some other officer did wherever that I might not even know, and I may have to pay for it? Could I be next when I'm out doing something? Could I be the next to pay for something that I didn't even have nothing to do with because another cop did it? These guys are scared to death, man. Trust me. And they thinking about it. It's just that none of them want to be the one to show to others that they are the ones who thinking and scared. So they all have to act tough around each other. They are terrified. Anybody who has been in law enforcement, who has spent time around people in law enforcement, they know them guys are terrified, okay? If you know how they think, they're scared. All them tough faces, that was nothing but fear. And all the big Flintstone face one, the big hardcore looking ones that are standing in there trying to act tough and hard. Face, them guys are one missed appointment at the testosterone clinic away from milk leaking out of their titties and crash out for these reasons. They know the system is rigged, where there are black youths going in and out of prison, you know, to the point where it's so bad, these black youths in their ignorant state are making it appear as though prison is cool, it's not so bad. Look at us in here, look at what we got. You know what I'm saying? So you have these young people who don't even. And the black woman in the video, I didn't years old up until I understand what 2 life sentences means until they like 35 years old. Up until then, they don't even know. What if they start doing what this man did? You know what I'm saying? That's what they're thinking. And the black woman in the video, I didn't put the mammy part up, the black woman cop that was sent to me like that. I didn't put the mammy part on there, but I'm not there to dispute anybody or say she ain't a mammy if somebody said. And that woman right there is the image of mammies. Out of all the black courage anybody do.
Now we got to go help.
All right, so look, the police killed this brother's son. So the next day, he was like, you know what? I already know what's gonna happen if I go to court. All right, I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Seen in the next 6 seconds, lives would change. Police say the 4 men jumped from the stolen car and ran when they were told to stop. Now, one of those men, Ryan Hinton, was suspect pointed his gun at the officer, and then I'm going to help clarify what the chief said.
The body camera is kind of jolting as the officer's running. What that leaves us with is a very blurred image, unfortunately. However, based on the officer's interviews, the officer who did discharge his firearm said that when the individual came out between the dumpsters,
Don't worry about the video.
firearm in front of him, it was in like a bladed position, and it was.
Basically, you gonna believe me or your lying eyes?
First, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on the authority, whether it's harassing people within urban neighborhoods. 1,173 civilians were shot and unalived by police officers, and in 2023, by another police officer. Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button.
And suspected in a car theft earlier yesterday.
According to sources, Cincinnati police responded to a report of a stolen car that happened to be located at an apartment complex at 2500 Warsaw Avenue around 9 a.m. Thursday morning.
Exactly,
May 2025. According to law enforcement, the car was stolen earlier that morning from northern Kentucky. 2 police vehicles will respond to the area and spot 4 individuals who were in the car, who once they spotted the police, they began running in all different directions. 2 officers pursued 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, along with another unidentified male. According to law enforcement, the unidentified officer, who was a 10-year veteran assigned to the Fugitive Apprehension Squad, chased Ryan and observed him carrying a firearm as he proceeded to run away. That's when the officers would yell, "He's got a gun, he's got a gun, on your right, on your right," as Ryan emerged from in between 2 dumpsters, and the officer fired 4 to 5 shots, striking the 18-year-old. Ryan was shot twice, according to law enforcement, and struck in his arm and chest area. Reports say the officers tried to administer different variations of medical aid until the paramedics arrived. Ryan was taken to the hospital, where he was later pronounced deceased. The officer who shot Ryan has remained unnamed in reports, stating afterwards that it looked like Ryan was pointing the firearm at him.
Should have named him, I guess.
And that's why he proceeded to shoot. On the scene, a handgun was found on the floor with a loaded extended clip, where officers say Hinton was carrying it. However, the firearm had not been discharged at all. According to the footage taken from the officer's body cam,
They found it on the floor, but he also had it and he pulled it. Okay.
everything happened so fast, and shots were fired by the officer just 6 seconds from them approaching the vehicle, leaving many to believe that maybe the officer shot him to stop him from running because maybe he felt that he was going to escape. The body cam footage
Shot
will
him
also
to
reveal
stop him from
that the
running.
18-year-old had his back turned, and it didn't seem as if he was aiming anything at the officer. But according to Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thiege, body cam footage is very blurry due to the camera's jolting moving around during the chase, making it hard to determine whether he did point a firearm or not. Ryan's family says that he just celebrated his 18th birthday just weeks.
But it's okay. The cop said he didn't do it, or that he did point a gun. So the cop said it. Don't believe your eyes. Believe him.
Weeks ago, never had any run-ins with the law, and have no prior criminal history. And I know they say that they were in a stolen vehicle, and that's common these days amongst the younger crowd when it comes to stealing cars, unfortunately. However, being in a stolen car doesn't warrant you to shoot and unalive anybody. Not just shoot, but these officers aren't just shooting to maintain a situation. They're shooting to kill. Simple.
All right, so forget waiting all these months.
Gunned down by police. It seems that Rodney had nothing but revenge on his mind. A recent retired deputy who was serving in a special capacity with the department was directing traffic near the University of Cincinnati, where they were holding a graduation ceremony. Prosecutors say in a premeditated and calculated style, Rodney purposely lined his car up to strike the deputy and accelerated as he struck and caused death to the deputy. Rodney was arrested and charged with aggravated unaliving and is currently being held without bond. Due to Ohio's law protecting the privacy of crime victims, both deputies' names are to remain anonymous. However, Rodney will have a court hearing where plenty of Cincinnati police officers will pack the room.
Now, we talking about raising money for somebody, right? I would definitely put in on his defense fund. You definitely create a GoFundMe for him and or his family or whoever, his brother, make a GoFundMe and put it to his legal defense fund for sure. And you see, they try to intimidate the brother. I got all these cops lined up. Yeah, all of you. And he like, yeah, all you next. You next, fool. And do you see the response though when somebody like you see somebody harm one of your own? Do you see the response? Now imagine a whole bunch of brothers like they was in the 60s lined up with their shotguns and they was thinking twice, won't they? Right? You asked me what the answer was. He could tell you this is frontline stuff. I'm not on the front lines. I haven't graduated to that level yet.
Good morning, Mr. Hinton. Good morning. He's like the morning justice very soft. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right.
Shaking in their boots, but it's time. You have to pay for your crimes.
Probable cause this morning. I submitted designations for John Kennedy and Timothy Bicknell. They will be the attorneys of record handling Mr. Hinton's case. I'll be handling the arraignment this morning. All right, thank you. Mr. Prosecutor, or anything as to bond? As to bond, Your Honor, thank you. Your Honor, I understand this is a very, very serious, very terrible charge that Mr. Hinton is facing. He's a risk, but he does not have a history, Judge. He has no felonies in his record. His risk assessment score was a 1. He had a juvenile record. He works at BDF.
So basically, he was mentally unstable because of the death of his son. Right? He was suffering from a mental breakdown. Right? I definitely need. He's innocent. Look, this is a Christian nation, as they call it, right? And it does say an eye for an eye in the thing. It said, he that killeth with the sword must be killeth with the sword. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. That's what it says, right? By their own religion.
He's married. He's a father. He's a graduate of Purcell Marion. I understand that this is an emotionally charged situation. I understand that Mr. Hinton's son may have been killed by the police earlier in the week. There was a review of that video. I understand that there is a lot of sadness and a lot of anger in this room right now, but it would be enlarged. And we just ask the court to set a reasonable bond in light of everything to allow the constitutional process to play out.
All right. Thank you.
Look at every one of them in their face. You next, fool. The black girl ain't even looking. The black girl is the only one that ain't look back.
Has no remorse. I don't think he feels bad at all for what he did, because he wanted to inflict that same pain he felt losing his son on somebody else. And I guess being that he couldn't catch the actual officer that did it, he didn't care who, as long as it was an officer.
Well, they didn't release his name, so it could have been one. And I'm pretty sure he didn't did his dirt too. What you think about that, my brother?
Man, that brother's a hero to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what nobody else say. I don't get ain't no such thing, no innocent police. You know what I'm saying? Because that same police who we unalive, he probably did some fucked up shit and had it coming. You know what I'm saying? So fuck all of them. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know, they always come at you, come at a brother in a gang. You know what I'm saying? Now here y'all are so tough, big and bad, all standing up around, you know, like y'all gonna intimidate the man, like he gonna be scared. Hell no, you seen that look he had in his face? He was like, I'll fuck one of you motherfuckers up too, as soon as I get a chance to. You know what I'm saying? And they scared as hell. Hey, don't let the tough stuff fool you. Them motherfuckers are scared. They scared. I mean, right there in their city, in other places too, the police are saying, man, what if a whole bunch of these Negroes start doing that shit? You know, which I hope it do, man. I hope it happen. You know, some of our little frontline soldiers out there on the streets, man, you know, the ones who love to shoot guns at your own people. You know, and I was one of them at one time. You know what I'm saying? No, take a little time out from that shit there and knock one of them motherfuckers silly. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to be doing, man. Anytime, like Marcus Garvey said, anytime a brother die here, one of them need to die somewhere else. I'm 100% with it, man. I'm happy, man. I'm happy that he did what he did, that he stood up and did what he did, man. Now, you know, I wish he hadn't got caught. You know, I mean, I wish he had did it in a slicker way, like, you know, some at nighttime in the dogs, you know, where he could get away with it. But he did what he felt like he had to do, man, and I ain't mad at him.
Yeah, I mean, and the brother, I think he just like, I need to send a message. Or he probably just seen him, and he probably knew who that cop was too. That cop probably did harass them before. You know what I'm saying? He probably knew who he was. Oh, I don't know. I ain't gonna say that because I don't know what the brother thought. He was suffering because his son died, right, and having a traumatic moment, right, and then he wasn't thinking, and he did what naturally happens, right? Because if I like my dog goes near like this bushes where the bird have a nest at, the bird come down and swoop and attack my dog, even though my dog is 10 times bigger than his bird. You understand? Because you learn how to protect your son. You know what I'm saying? And this brother did what he had to do, right? And like you said, like, yo, when you walk past him, like, yo, you next. You know what I'm saying? If you got an issue with it, you got a problem. But that's the thing. What if brothers start knowing that, okay, we ain't gotta wait like Tyrese Nichols and wait to see what happened in their courts. You know what I'm saying? We see. This brother was like, nah, forget that. The next day, and listen, I can't say that, listen, they try to do something to one of my family members, like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? I would be mentally unstable too, probably. But, and the thing
Yeah,
is, you know,
I'll be mentally unstable too and be ready to knock one of their asses off too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And so, like, the defense fund, because this is like definitely a case of he was mentally unstable. It's really self-defense, right? And and it's this PTSD or like Stockholm syndrome or African syndrome, because none of us is from no Sweden or whatever. So it's this mental illness, right? But if somebody violates you or violates your boundaries, there has to be some form of consequence or they'll continue to violate your boundaries. You let it slide once, they do it again. Like George Bush said, shame on, fool me one time, shame on you. You fool me once, you can't get fooled again. You know what I'm saying? We got fooled over and over and over again. But now we understand there ain't gonna be no justice in their system. But and we probably talk about this next week when Considra here. We'll talk about it a little bit more. But I also wanted to talk about a little bit of that mindset too that you was talking about, you know, with some of our young brothers, you know what I'm saying, who point the weapons inward because that's what the system is designed to do. And then when they come up, they pull up, we running and they shooting. And oh yeah, it's blurry. Even though we can get a still image seeing exactly what happened, but you're gonna believe me or your lying eyes. But it's the mindset then and the development of, you know, young brothers too.
Revolutionized poverty and made it look so.
Let me start it over.
Some feathers bundle. I feel like black people have revolutionized poverty and made it look so cool that people think we like it.
I ain't gonna lie.
I think that black people have made
That's
poverty so cool that people think we like it, bro. We don't like it. We're just making the best of it.
Even the trauma that come from it, niggas aspire to.
Like
niggas want to be a tough nigga. You don't realize this nigga ain't tough. This nigga just watched his daddy die and his mama on drugs and like his life. That nigga traumatized. That nigga got PTSD. He ain't tough. He's traumatized. And to the point where a nigga could grow up in a home like this and aspire to be from the project.
It's because unfortunately people think that blackness is tied to poverty. They think that the black experience is being poor. That's why when you have others who equate poverty to being black, or I don't have any privilege, I grew up poor. Why the do you think because you've been broke that you know what it feels like to be black? This may ruffle some feathers, but
And you know, and that's the thing about these young brothers who are in these, like, it's traumatized, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even imagine the stuff that you're seeing, the stuff that you're going through. You might see a black man shooting another black man or something like that, or the police shooting a black man or harassing people, or your mom not being able to do something, or your mom on drugs, right? Or all type of stuff. Like, I know people. I understand that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can't judge them to but a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? But it still comes to a point where you still are accountable for your crimes. You know, but we at some point have to be accountable for not creating something for these young people to, if they are into that life, know how to use that life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always been black people who have been warriors with that mentality, but they've learned how to use it to protect their tribe. We probably never learned how to put aside our tribal differences for the collective of blackness, right? Well, that's what the other groups have over us. They fight each other, but they understand when it comes to us, their group, right? But a lot of these young brothers in the hood, like, or as they would call it, the hood. I don't even like calling it that, but listen, like, I don't know if anybody has been to the projects. It's a poverty mindset. It's a feeling of this. The energy in that area is a poverty, low energy mindset. And the people, it's a lot of good people. Like, there's a lot of old people, a lot of kids, and like people that are like just nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take to the grocery store or something like that. But and the people don't buy unless you like. Well, I know I could say for here, like, but it's still the mentality of a lot of times, and this is what I think a sociopath is. Like, you see your mom struggling, you like, damn, I haven't ate. I got to go out here to do something to go eat, and then you start maybe committing crimes, and you start seeing violent stuff happen, and you get desensitized to it, and you might start doing it, and then you get desensitized to it to the point where you don't care no more. You know what I'm saying? But The whole point is like you see young brothers like in these situations like that. It's not by accident, and then they turn around and be like, "Oh, well, look at what these people are doing," you know. But yo, what you think about that, my brother?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I say, okay, like this here, for example, like my own personal experience. Okay, you know, my brother was a homicide victim. He got killed, you know, in the community. You know what I'm saying? I got shot. I got shot and them to get killed myself. You know, in the community, and like you said, I mean, I think before that though, I think we had to address. Okay, yes, when you put a bunch of people, you know, in an area, you know what I'm saying, in a community, what you want to call it, the ghetto or the projects, you put them in a certain place, you know what I'm saying, and then you got what you know how it is, man. You got a pawn shop over here with them things you can go and buy easily. You know what I'm saying? You got liquor stores, then they throw drugs in. I mean, yeah, it's on you not to fall for the bullshit, but those young mans, man, you know how a young man is, man. A young brother's man is, you know, at 15, at 14 and 15 and 16 and whatever. And I always take it back to the men in the community, you know, at that particular time. I'm going on a period of time when I was growing up. It was the older men, the big brothers, man, the uncles. A lot of time, you know, you had a lot of them that did their job, that handled their business, but you had a lot of them who didn't, man. And especially like in the 80s, man, when the crack, I mean, I remember when crack hit Shreveport, and I know you know when crack hit Richmond, you know, and we all know, every black person in this land, you know, at least 40 years old can remember that. And they 40s can remember that, you know, and the devastating effect that it had on our communities. But like I say, we could find a whole lot of reasons of why things happen, invalid reasons too. Invalid reasons, you know, whether it's single parent households, you know, just your mom raising, or the father that left, you know, you ain't got that structure, you know, that authority that you need, you know, to keep you on the right path. That was kind of like my problem a little bit. You know, even though I knew right from wrong, you know, my mom taught me right from wrong, but you know, not having that powerful male, presence around, you know, a positive male presence around, you know, I think that they failed. They failed my group, my generation of young brothers. I mean, that was a success story, but I'm saying I think overall it was a failure. And the same thing when I became a grown man, you know what I'm saying? You know, my generation, we failed the younger cats up under us. You know what I'm saying? We failed the younger cats up under us, man, instead of like, you know, trying to show them the right things to do, you know, and let them know that, you know, you got to take the long cuts, you know, as well as the shortcuts, you know what I'm saying? Because the shortcuts going to lead you to somewhere you don't want to be at. But, you know, instead, no, we was out there being an example for them, but an example for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? Until I finally came into my consciousness, you know, and you know, and I had to go through some things, you know, before that happened. I had to learn lessons. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, man, I mean, ain't nobody gonna save us but us. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn how many poverty programs or whatever. Because I can look, hey, forecast, let me show you something. You could go into other black countries, rather in the Caribbean, rather on the African continent, where they have a poverty where you look at it, no, it's a poverty to you. You know what I'm saying? You say, man, you know, that's way worse than anything that I ever went to. But you know what? They still got solid family structures. You know what I'm saying? You still got a father and a grandfather, you know, a grandmother, and, you know, I mean, you know, you got elders and everything for people to go to and talk to, you know, for conflict resolution and stuff like that. And they live in a worse kind of what I'm trying to find a way word. I don't want to say poverty, but you know, as far as like having things like you had, like more of the stuff that we have here. You know what I'm saying? They don't have some of that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would be a luxury for them to get some of that stuff. It's stuff that we just overlook every day. Hey, you know, just take for granted. But you know what? They still had that family structure. They still had that strong father figure, you know, and the strong grandparent figure and stuff like that. And so that's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna just only put it on poverty. You know what I mean? That's a factor. You know, you living in a society like this, especially, you know, with this economic society. But I just think that I think that we had to take responsibility, man. You know, I say me, I'm one of the first. I'm gonna stand up and hold my hand up. I failed the generation of brothers coming under me. No, I'm trying to make up for it now, but I failed them. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, I can't just blame them because, you know, I was being a bad example. But yeah, you know, I'll leave it right there, man, and continue, man.
Yeah, and I'll say this, you know, like I was born in 1987, like crack was already a thing, you know, and I know here, like that's all I understood. Well, I mean, I didn't grow up necessarily in the hood, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that like I know so many people that do, you know what I'm saying? And I agree with you, you know what I'm saying? And like, and what I'm saying, like a poverty mind is like the whole mindset of the whole energy around surrounding the hood. It's like it's so many good people, you know what I'm saying? But it's the whole energy, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, it's always been a war on destruction of a family, you know what I'm saying, to have us arguing with each other, you know what I'm saying, to not have that strong male figure who can show you how to carry yourself as a man, right? And to have a woman and a man see how they treat each other in a relationship so you even know how to pick the right person for you to have children with. You know, all of that stuff is missing, you know what I'm saying? And it's this desire to have the money and all of that stuff, or to be like, yo, I don't want my mama working. So then you go out there to try to go get money, but you will cross your own brother and you don't even think about it because you like, oh, all I see is green, all I see is this, you know. But at the same time, if the police run up on you, you gonna run away. But if a brother can run up on you, you gonna shoot at him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or try to. And I don't want to put this on people in the because the hood is just not what. Because I know when people think about it, it be like, oh yeah, I go there, I'm definitely gonna get robbed or mugged and all of that, you know. Because I've been plenty of times and like nobody has done something to me, right? A lot of times, you know, and I'm not saying senseless stuff don't happen, but you know, I know that people is a lot of like regular people that just happen to grow up in the hood, right? And then you have some people that become sociopaths, and then some people get caught up in the life, and then you know, and it's a whole thing to it. You know what I'm saying? Where then you end up with young brothers who end up in a situation like the young brother in the stolen car. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole mindset. We definitely gonna have to have that conversation with considerable comebacks. But yeah. So let's go to the next thing. All right. So before we go off, we just gonna I just want to show you some stuff. So check this out, right? Now, this dude put this brother in a chokehold trying to walk in his own building.
Give you my apartment number? Are you security? This is insane. If you live here, let yourself in. So you gonna put me in the choke? Please.
He asked him.
I'm just trying to get you to buzz in to show me you live here. Oh, you are insane. That's cool. Why couldn't you have just done this downstairs?
Why couldn't you have done this?
Here's my apartment.
You want to explain it?
Yeah, cool. All right. Why couldn't you just done it downstairs?
Are you
like I asked you
security?
to?
Why should I show you proof that I live here? Why should I show you proof that I live here?
Ask the office. There's really a problem. There's a problem that I came in here. I don't let people in. You can ask the maintenance. You put me in a chokehold. You put me in a chokehold, man. You're a thief, man. I'm a thief. You're not. I'm sorry. That came out.
You see this fool? Yeah, that was the first. You're a thief. Oh, that my bad. Yeah, he put his hands on you, bro. That means you have the right to legally defend yourself. right? To stand your ground. He's like, oh, so you're gonna put me in a choke. And then explained it to him. You see, this is my apartment. And he talking about some, why couldn't you just tell me that downstairs? And this boy just sat there. KW Don 7, what up, my brother? Yeah. It couldn't have been me.
Hey,
I
forecast.
understand that.
Hey, forecast. If you notice this, now check this out. Every time we see a video like this, it's always a white boy. These white boys picking on a young brother. You know what I'm saying? On what? Not a threatening brother. You know what I'm saying? They picking on one of them other brothers. No, they ain't picking on Debo. You know what I'm saying? They're not picking on no menacing looking brother, as they would say. You know, no, the wrong nigga to fuck with. They ain't picking on him. They gonna go and get one of these little young teenage boys or something, or get a guy who might be a little older, a little shorter, small guy, or something like that. They pick on him. They pick on that brother or pick on a sister. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, run your ass up on me. I ain't saying like I'm the baddest motherfucker in the world. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be your worst day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some guys who I know. You know what I'm saying? Run your ass up on somebody who's ready for that. You know what I'm saying? But that just shows you how much of a coward these people are. These people are straight up cowards. Every time they always come in a gang, or they always go and pick on the weak, or pick on a woman, or pick on some children. You know what I'm saying? Or pick on a little boy. That's a child right there. You know what I'm saying? And then again, and we spend too much time because you know we got the wrong people talking to us. You know what all this is? I live here. Why you messing with me? All that motherfucking talking and shit. From the first time he put his hands on me, you know, right then it was gonna be me and him. You know what I'm saying? Side was gone right then, bro. Hey, you might whoop my ass, you might unalive me, you might do that, but you know what? Man, you gonna sweat for this, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a hell of a tussle. And that's what I'm saying. We got to get out of that bullshit, man. All that old passive and all that shit, man. No, we got to get that passive shit to get your ass killed. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that shit, man. You know, hey, if I'm gonna die anyway, or go to jail anyway, man, let me get my leg in. You know what I'm saying? Let me bust this crack upside his head. You know, let me you put your hands on me, I'll fear for my life, so I'm gonna stab your ass in your motherfucking heart or something. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of shit we gotta get, man. Fuck all that, man. Look here. I'd rather be able to talk about it later than my family be talking about it with Ben Crump standing beside them. You know what I'm saying?
Look, all I'm saying is, which one got results? This method or this brother, Rodney Hidden Jr.? We should definitely put that. This brother face should go on the side of a mountain somewhere.
Yeah, he already at my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. But listen, man, y'all, I understand they know but that's why it's important for young men who also aren't in that life, you know. And that's one thing my brother Bukhari talks about, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I do think that we should focus on the young population who are in jail and all that stuff, but we should not be neglecting the people that not in jail, right? Because you still got most of the class that's not in jail, right? And there needs to be not only programs for them to go to, but also ways and knowledge for them to defend themselves, right? Whether it be kickboxing or whatever, MMA or whatever it may be, but also weapons training, right? And a lot of other training too. Mason facts. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6, right? Because we've seen brothers be killed by a chokehold before, right? And we seen them get away with it. So, and then you see them with that nonsense. But then also, check this out.
Check it out.
I paid for my food. I paid for my food. What are you talking? Why are you following me down the street? You need to get the back. You need to get back. Why are you following me? Why are you following me? What do you think? Why are you following me? What are you gonna do? Call 911. Call 911. If you need to settle something, you know who to call. Yeah, they're over here. I know them. I'm okay. Go tell them. You go tell them. Then you wait here. I'll call. You go tell them. You go tell them, I paid for my food. I handed you $20. You can't charge me more than what the menu say. So what are you talking about? Bro, I'm not legally required to give you a fucking tip. Get the fuck back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back, bro. I'm telling you to get back. I'm not trying to with you, bro. Bro, I'm not trying to with you. You piece of shit.
Oh man, let me keep going. I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to with you, bro. You shut your mouth, man. Why are you following me down the street?
Bro. Listen, because I know a lot of brothers that he'll probably be on the internet talking about black women need to stop going to the nail salons and stuff, but then go to the Asian Jones and get some chicken wings or something like that. You paying extra money for dog meat, and you see this dude run up on you talking about something, you ain't leave no tip. And then you try to get loud. He ran up on you even more. And you like, I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems. Bruh, if you don't like karate chop him in the neck or something, bro, like, yo, what you think about that, bro?
Man, a Negro like that, the way I look at it, he should have just took off running. You know what I'm saying? Hey, fuck yeah, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna do nothing. You gonna sit up here and run your mouth and talk and all that bullshit, and then let this motherfucker walk up in your face. You should have just took off running from the get go when you first seen it, because you know you wouldn't go do a goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? Man, look here, I don't. You know, this is all that kind of shit though. You know, that's some.
Run
It make
after
me
you
sick.
pay for your meal.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm just saying. Look here, man. I wasn't raised like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you come in my face, man, it's gonna be a problem. You know, it's gonna be a problem. You know, I'm not gonna. I mean, you know how to make growing up in any black community. I mean, that's something that we learned, all of us as young men. That's almost like a rite of passage, man. Hey, if you ain't gonna be about nothing, then you need to keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't about that trouble, don't get to jumping off the porch, beating your chest. You know what I'm saying? So if you gonna lay there and do what he did, I mean, you might as well. You should have just took off running, run somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Get away from him. You know what I'm saying? Because that was just stupid as hell to me, man. I mean, when I see stuff like that, I just like, man, I don't know, man. It's just like, I mean, you know, what a water is that, man? I don't know, bro. That shit there just is ridiculous to me, man. And like you said, you know, I mean, look at us. Who cook better than we do? You know what I'm saying? Who cook better than we do? I mean, I sold food, everything. I mean, what the hell we want to go and give our money to these other folks when we got the best cooks in the world? You know what I'm saying? You know, go to a black restaurant or go to Miss Ain't Sadie or somebody who cook at our house. You know, something like that. You know, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, you know, we just like we fund our own bullshit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Talking about these motherfuckers, Asians or whatever, all that, you know, with the corner store, like how we got the Pakistanis up here in our neighborhood, you know, the corner store up there, you know. And then you got the Asian nail salon out there on 7th Street. I'm like, you know, I know a whole bunch of sisters do nails good. You know what I'm saying? I know a whole bunch of sisters do hair. You know, I know it's just ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand it.
Yeah, and I know in that industry they do have that thing where they blackball sisters with the and charge them more money and all that. You know, which is and by the way, I think this is the name of that restaurant on the shirt. Probably it may be so, but it doesn't matter. I'm like the brother earlier. I gotta remember his name, Rodney Hennon Jr. You see one, you see them all, right? That means every Asian restaurant. And the thing is, like, before I even knew better, I stopped going because it'd be like cold. It don't even be good. They serve you terrible meat. It's like, I don't know, like I never understood it. Well, I guess I did understand it when I didn't know no better, but it was just nasty on top of that, right? And then they had like a 4-year-old at the register, you know what I'm saying? But you see, like you create these businesses, but they specifically put their businesses into your locations to profit off of that. But then they also expect you to just hand over your money and your resources And this brother blacked out. He walked backwards for 2 blocks trying to explain himself. Like, and talking about some I don't want no problems. But anyway, bro. Yo, so now check this one out.
A black woman. Here it is.
Open the door.
Don't come banging on my window. Do not.
Shut up.
Bang the
He should
man.
have punched him in his face right there.
Man, listen.
You come out here. I don't care.
You ain't gonna do shit. You better get your racist ass. Man, get your. Watch this.
Go ahead.
You done lost so much. You done lost your mind. You better go on somewhere before I knock you out. I'm not playing. Don't come banging on my window. Do you understand me? Don't come banging on my window.
Why the babies? Why the elderly? Why? He probably, you know how much stuff he probably did. He's the older one, bro. Matron, what you gonna do? Like they gonna try to see Matron out one day alone, and the old dude gonna run up on Matron and not let her get out of her car.
I'm not playing. Don't come banging on my window.
Man, Matrix for Detroit, she gonna come up with that thing.
They gonna be like, "What you doing? Get back in there, Matron."
Don't come banging
Hey,
on my window.
forecast. Matrix ain't gonna be doing all that talking. It's just gonna be some Detroit shit. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be over with. I'm telling you.
No, he just came, Josh. No, he just came.
You get
All
your
right,
hands off.
all right. I'm telling you. No, cause he'll like I'm wrong. Like I'm wrong. You just hit me. Call him, cause I got it on camera. Call him.
Okay. Step over.
What's wrong with you?
Bitch. Step over.
What's wrong with you? And I'm finna call the police. You done lost so much.
Facts. So, but yeah, man, you see, they think they can pick on the weak, right, and the vulnerable. But she could have smacked this dude into the next life, you know what I'm saying? Back into whatever Neanderthal hell they go to, right? But as black people, I don't know, this humanity thing, I don't know if it's all cracked up to be. Like, these fools are savages. They only understand one language. You know how the young brother was like, can we talk to them? Well, there's only one language that they understand. Like, look, let me show you the language they understand here. They only understand one language, and you can't reason with a psychopath, you know? Right? This is the only language they understand. You see? He understood. Look at the fear. And she understood. Look at the sister here. She the only one that didn't look at him because she know better. And that's the thing. Deep down in our souls and our hearts, you know better. We all know better of what we should be doing. But the fear outweighs it. But the moment that you're sick of being sick or tired of being tired outweighs your fear, you become the greatest threat to everything in the world, probably the universe. It's crazy. It's the only language that is understood, you know? You see? And the sister, the only one ain't looking. Anyway, bro.
Hey, hey, 4K, man. Yeah, you're 100% right, brother. You're right. You're on point. I just want to, I'm still, this shit is still on my mind, man. When I was, me and the brothers was running it the other night, I'm like, talk about this humanity shit. I go back, I said, look, this is what I say. I want brothers to go back and look at images of the lynching of Jesse Washington. Jesse Washington was a 17-year-old black boy, you know, and he was kind of a little bit, you know, kind of like I guess you a little Down syndrome or something like that. You know, he was a little, you know, a little mentally, you know, slow. But anyway, they accused him of some bullshit that we don't even know if he know that he did the shit or not. You know what I'm saying? A lot of information point that he didn't have nothing to do with it. You know, killing some little old white girl. Okay. These people, look here. they got Jesse. They got this young boy. And they took him to the town square. And you know what? I mean, well, before that happened, before they announced that they took him to court and the trial, all that mess. But they announced, okay, it's a guilty verdict. Tomorrow we're gonna lynch this nigga. And let everybody in the city of Waco, Texas, the whole city came out. It was more than 10,000, 15,000, maybe 20,000 people. They built platforms and everything all around this damn tree. You know what I'm saying? This platform where they lynched this brother, man. And look here, little boy, little white boys, little white girl, they let them out of school early to come and see this boy get tortured to death. You know what I'm saying? Look here, the mayor was there. The city council was there. The police chief was there. The sheriff, everybody was there. White women was there. White men, grandparents, everybody was there. And they sit up there while they douse this man in coal oil. You know, strip him naked in front of everybody. Douse him in coal oil. Castrated, cut his ball, cut his penis off.
Wait, no, hold on. I'm gonna let you finish it, but I want you to understand. They dipped him in there for a little while, pulled him back up, started like stabbing him, shooting him.
Yeah,
cutting off his tongue.
I was trying not to get so graphic.
That you have to.
Yeah, you're right.
Look here, pulling out his eyeballs, pulling out his teeth, all that stuff, dipping him back in the fire for a little while.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, put him out, put the fire out, and then lit him again.
And then about 5-6 times, right?
Yeah, and while all of the white children, the white boys and girls standing around watching it, looking, laughing, cheering, and jeering. And motherfucker want to tell me about some humanity. You know what I'm saying? About some humanity with all the shit they did to us.
Before you even finish that story, after that, right, they fight over your body parts, right? And then women and children kind of get first pick or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And the children play with the bodies for hours later. After everybody leaves, the children play with the body for hours.
Yes.
Right? Then people take different parts of his body home as souvenirs, right?
Yes.
And you can go to grocery stores where you can see somebody selling somebody knuckles, or you can see somebody selling somebody bones or something like that from a lynching, right?
Yeah.
And from every part of his body, and that's what I'm saying, bro. And of course the penis was the thing that they wanted the most, you know what I'm saying?
It
when
was
they
sick
cut
at
off,
it.
and they would fight over who would get to take that.
And that's why I said I want brothers who we know to sit down and just watch this shit. Look at old pictures of that shit there. Look at those pictures. That shit didn't happen. That shit happened in the 1910s, the 1930s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, on up to the 60s. And it's happening now. Not like that. But see, I remember James Byrd where they dragged the brother behind a car. You know what I'm saying? And all kind of shit. All kind of shit. You know, they lynch you now with the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, these motherfuckers, I mean, I just want, look here, when you talk about humanity, you talk about a cold-blooded group of people. That's how they got everything that they got. Because they was cold-blooded. They didn't have, it ain't no humanity in these crackers. You know what I'm saying? And I know they don't want to hear that. Oh man, there's some good white people. No, it ain't.
Bro.
No, it ain't. There's some good ones. They might talk good to you, but that same good motherfucker will sell your ass out. You know what I'm saying? I'm OJ. I'm Shannon Sharp. I'm whoever. Now look what's happening to him. You know what I'm saying?
But do you know the sad part? For every James Byrd and or for every lynching that we do know, it's probably 4 or 5 of people that we never heard of that just happened in some backwoods that we never heard of and we'll never know.
Absolutely. The 4,000-5,000 that they give credit for, them just the ones that they found. Look here, it probably was 30,000-40,000. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just reading, I was doing some research that after the Civil War, it was in 1866, well, white people went on a rampage and killed about 10,000 black people across the southern United States in a summertime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the KKK was actually made before the 13th Amendment was ratified.
Yeah, I mean, right here, right down the street from me, if you ever visit here, I could take you to a little town called Colfax, Louisiana, where they got the tree, and I think the tree may be still there. They might have cut it down, but I know for a long, it had been there for a long time. You can see pictures of the tree. You can see the tree on the news. they had a tree in which they hung 150 brothers on. And this was like in 1876 or something like that, 1870s, 1880. You know what I'm saying? Where they hung all them brothers down there at the Colfax parish courthouse. You know what I'm saying? So brothers who was fighting for their rights. You know what I'm saying? And they laid there and hung them. They had white folks with them. It was one or two, but the white folks, they ran and so fuck that. You niggas on your own. You know what I'm saying? And they hung all them brothers in that tree. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing. We have like a memorial, you know, to remember them all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, these motherfuckers, I mean, you talk about this humanity, man. It ain't no motherfucking humanity. That's why they could do shit like that. They love every movie they got. What? They pulling a gun on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Pointing guns. You know. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, unfortunately, like 8 out of 10 revolutions, besides like Nat Turner, maybe, they all be like, don't kill them if not necessary. Like black people say, don't kill them if you don't have to. And like spare the women and children. Like, I don't understand why black people feel that way.
Yeah, forecast. One more thing before you move on. Okay, look. We all love to talk about our brothers in the Haitian Revolution. Toussaint Louverture. You know what I'm saying? Henri Christophe, Dessalines, all the brothers. We know them. But I'm saying, Toussaint Louverture was one of those Negroes. He was one of them Negroes who loved white folks. Yeah, he wanted freedom for his people. But he wanted freedom and equality, where we could all live together. You know what I'm saying? He want to live with the French. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Let's have this utopian society where everybody all good. Well, you know, at the end, what happened when the French came and say, look, man, when they showed up with that new army, hey, look, man, look here, we'll discuss it. Y'all surrender, lay your arms down. We'll discuss it. We'll discuss, ending slavery and all this old stuff right here. He went for it, and they put handcuffs on him, sent him to France, and starved to death in the prison. You know what I'm saying? Because he had humanity. He believed in this white man and this good white man and believed in his word. But Dessalines seen that shit and said, fuck no, we killing all these Frenchmen. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all of them. We got to get them up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, definitely with Dessalines, right? But listen, because people might get mad, right? And if I say this, because did Haiti actually win though? Like, no offense or whatever, right? It's not like, it's just learning from history thing. Like, did they win, right? Because they gave the Irish a pass, they gave women a pass, they gave white kids a pass. And this is not to criticize. I'm not saying no on Dessalines, because Dessalines, like you said, was a fact, you know.
Yeah, hey, look here. If you look at it, okay, look at it in the short term, in the long run, in the long term. In the short term, they won. In the long term, they lost.
But that's what I'm saying, because like when we come, like then it became an issue with the mulattoes. And this is a whole nother topic. Right?
Yeah, being sabotaged from the inside. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's just like I'm saying, hey, look, this is what I'm saying. Let me be hypothetical forecast. Let's say that you a brother, you got a podcast. You got a podcast right here, the Forecast Radio. Your podcast is for Black empowerment, to lifting us up. Everything that we got to do, whatever we discussing is for the upliftment of Black people, for our progress. Okay, so you got different brothers on the panel who come up. We all like-minded people, and we putting our minds together. And hey, this is what let's do this here. Here go my idea, here go your idea. Let's put our ideas together and make shit work. But see, what we do sometimes, you lay there and let different people on your show, you know what I'm saying, who don't have necessarily the same interests. Then, like I'm saying, I'm going towards like the mulatto question in Haiti, what we were just talking about. Where you got some brother who, I don't fit into that category of blackness like you do. I got a different blackness. You know what I'm saying? I got, I'm a mulatto, I'm biracial, I'm whatever. And the next thing you know, Black empowerment turning into all empowerment. You know what I'm saying? Well, you might have another brother who, I'm not with Black nationalism necessarily. I don't know if that's the way. I might be with black socialism or black this-ism or whatever ism. You know what I'm saying? You got another thing. So what I'm saying, what something your show started off to being one thing, but you know, when you let all these motherfuckers, confused motherfuckers and people with different agendas and different ideas who ain't on the same page as you again, your shit end up being something else. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even about what you wanted to be about no more.
Well,
so I'm just saying, you know, that's the problem that Dessalines them had, that the Haitian that they had to deal with. We got to deal with these mulattoes. We got to deal with these French colonists who still on the island, or these Polish or whoever else who's still on the island. What we gonna do with them? You know, how we gonna deal with this? I mean, you know, and you get past what the goal was. The goal for them was the freedom of African people on that island and the African nation. You know, in Haiti. But then when you get to let other stuff get in, you know, damn man, you know, where's the fight? I like all right there.
No, and I would say this, right? Because as a group, we will never be able to get to where we need to be until we understand that we have no friends. We are all we got. And until we can put tribal differences aside. But people will fight me all the time. Because on the mulatto thing, and you know what I'm saying, and a lot of things, because people have mulatto people in their family. And it doesn't mean that you can't love or like a mixed person or something like that. It just means that they're not black. But then you get to a point where it's, and this is where it comes to education, to where like as men especially, um what do we want to have? Freedom, equality, or comfort? We don't want we don't want freedom. We know we ain't gonna get equality. We just hope for a comfort, you know. But as men, it is, we cannot take a position to where we are continue to be submitting to other groups of people. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's, that's going to continue to lead to that mentality, you know what I'm saying? And we'll never get anywhere, but at the same time we have to start counting on that and understanding there's going to be a segment of black people that feel this way, right? That has to go into the plans, but we know that that's not going to work. So when we build this kind of thing, we have these certain rules, you know what I'm saying? And they can call it whatever you want, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how anybody else feels. What your goal is, what your goal is, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to be clear with the people that you're surrounding. What is your end goal? Is it freedom? Is it to be more comfortable in the society, to make things better, to get to a, you know, a place of holding hands with little white kids? Or is it to have your own thing and to make sure nobody can ever harm you again, and to control your own environment and own resources? Because we'll learn over and over and over again until we finally learn our lesson that each group is going to be about themselves. The Chinese is going to be about the Chinese. White people is going to be about white. Well, I hate to say people, but whatever. Anyway, the whole point is, as men, we have to have this certain feeling of letting the anger take over, right? You cannot love it because it's not really love. You can't love anybody else until you truly love yourself. And you cannot love yourself if you let other people violate your boundaries, but you continue to put them over yourself, right? That's how we know it's not actually love, and you actually don't love everybody. It's actually coming from a negative self-hate place, right? Well, from our point of view, is it would be negative. Everything is your point of view. You don't see it from your own eyes, right? You see it from maybe a globalistic point of view, but I also think this may be a lesson, cosmic or whatever, that black people had to learn, right? Maybe this will happen over and over until we can learn how to be a little bit more selfish, until we can learn how to kick people out, right? Because before we knew any better, we was dancing around the fire. Hey, let the pale face in. The sad part is we at the cookout jamming and we still saying let the pale face in, you know. It's the not learning part is the issue. But I don't know. I'm like going on a tangent or rant, but let me do this so we can get up out of here. It's not even anger, it's logical, it's survival. Yeah, it just is logical. It just makes sense. But we don't want, that's why we don't want to hear about the truth about history. Because if you heard about the truth about history, you wouldn't ask me why the babies. You would know why. You would understand why not to. And anyway, like it's natural. Like if you be around people, like they have a weird smell. It's not normal. It's not like I've never met a black person that has that weird kind of smell. Like people say it smell like dogs, but I'm not sure because my dog don't necessarily smell like that, but it's close. But you know what I'm saying, bro? I'm not tripping. They have this like it's a distinct smell, bro. I'm not even playing. I'm not even trying to be funny, but it's a distinct smell. Maybe it's white girls have it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Hey, look here. I'm reminded. Hey, remember when Serena Williams had a flashback? You know, she said her husband one time, I don't know if he had been doing whatever activities or whatever he had been doing, but it's when she was pregnant. You know, I'm talking about the old white boy, Ohanian, whatever the fuck his name is. She said that he had came in, you know, he was musty. Like, you know, I guess it was hot outside, well, he was just funky. And he he came in like to hug or something. And she said that it tripped her out. And she said she spoke on this shit. That's what tripped me out. She spoke on it. And she was saying, like, I smelled a smell that I ain't never smelled before. You know what I'm saying? And you know, she had a Negro flashback. You know, yeah, look what you laying up with. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I hear that time and time again, man. I know working with the motherfuckers and shit, you know, when they get to sweat and all that alcohol and crystal meth and all that shit get to coming up out of them.
Right, gotta be it.
Yeah.
Sweat,
I mean, but you know,
crystal meth, and they take a bath in a week.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? You know, and Harry motherfucker, you know, I mean, you know, they don't bathe like that, man. You know, even indigenous people used to say that, man. These some folk ass people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know how it is, though, man. You know, the motherfucker nasty as hell anyway. But yeah, that shit just tickled the hell out of me when Serena thought about that shit.
Yeah.
He said, God damn, this motherfucker's only fucking.
I'm just saying. Anyway, I was gonna say this, but it might as well because it goes
And
with it.
campus
This young brother was kicked off the. You know what?
started attending St. Mary's College of California. This is in the Bay Area. He
Oh
started.
yeah, we already talked about this. Well, anyway, so yeah, we're gonna end it right there. That was the black student who was going to the Catholic school and got kicked out the Catholic school. So yeah, man, what you want to say to like wrap up everything today, my brother?
Okay, man. Well, first of all, man, you know, it was good. It was good to rap with you, man. You know, it was good to be on the show and everything. I was a little, you know, I was a little tired a little bit, man. I had a hell of a day today, but yeah, it's my main thing. What I want to say, man, is this right here: is that we gotta get a killer instinct. And when I say that, I'm not necessarily just talking about. I'm talking about that, you know, about hey, you know, being able to pull a trigger on your motherfucking enemies. I'm talking about that, but I'm just saying a killer instinct as a people. You know what I'm saying? A killer instinct like you see on a football field, on a basketball field. I mean, we need to develop a mentality that is us versus everybody. You know what I'm saying? That, like you said, we ain't got no motherfucking friends. No, we gonna be, we gonna be competitive in every damn thing. We ain't let nothing pass. No, stick them up, motherfucker. We come to give us ours. You know what I'm saying? We got to have that kind of mentality, I think. You know what I'm saying? You know, in every facet of life, whether it's in our, educating our children, you know what I'm saying? And taking care of our families, man, and taking care of our communities, defending our communities, getting the bullshit out of our communities. You know what I'm saying? Us as men getting together, stop being scared of our children and our nephews and stuff, and go up there and get their minds right and make our community a safe place for our children and grandparents and everybody to live in. We got to get that mentality, man. Like, fuck this. It's enough of that weak shit. You know what I'm saying? Enough of that weak shit. And then, you know, and when we do it one community at a time, you know, and do it in all our communities, I think everything else fall in line, man. You know, we won't put up with the other shit. You know, with Popo, with the other motherfuckers policing out, because we could police our own shit. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to deal with, no, my baby got killed or stuff like that, or brother had to go back and do some shit because his child got killed. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have that mentality, man, that it's us and it's us against everybody else. You know, we ain't got no friends. Fuck that. We all we got. We gotta look out for our damn selves. And the last thing, I'm just like, really, man, we gotta let these Uncle Toms go. I mean, these Uncle Toms, and I mean, you know, not just Uncle Toms, but these Uncle Toms masquerading as black conscious people. You know what I'm saying? Because they dangerous, man. You know, I mean, we don't need nobody who's gonna sit on fences and straddle fences. You don't know what way they're going. I mean, and they, you know, throwing all these old funny ass ideologies and words and stuff on us to confuse. That's what they just to confuse us. We got one motherfucking goal, and that's the liberation of black people, of African people all over this planet, right here in this country, all over this hemisphere. We worried about us. You know what I'm saying? Like Malcolm said, you know, by any means, whatever means that we have to do it by. But one of the main things that we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to get rid of these fence sellers. And what I mean get rid of, I'm not saying go out and do nothing to them. I'm just saying we need to don't fuck with them. We need to let them go. When a motherfucker tell me that the classroom ain't a battlefield and he ain't in battle, I ain't got nothing else to say to him. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we gotta come together, man. And we gotta leave these other people alone, man. These ones that come with this bullshit. If you ain't about black unity, black empowerment, black liberation, you know what I'm saying? And fuck all of that utopian shit with equitable for everybody and all that other bullshit. We ain't worried about nobody else because they ain't worried about us. They worry about their damn self. We need to worry about our damn self. So we need to let them kind of people go. I call it the fence sitters. We need to let them go. And we just need to take on that killer mentality that, hey, it's us versus everybody. You know, we ain't got no goddamn friends, nothing but black people. Your friend, if you look in the mirror, like Dr. Clark said, and you don't see nothing you like, then you have no friends. You know what I'm saying? And I just leave it right there, man.
Yeah, and you know, and I'll say this, right? And shout out to the brother Rodney Hinton Jr., you know, and he was on the front line. He's a brother on the front lines, you know. But the thing is, as like, it's all a part of it. Everything is a part of course, education and control of your children's minds. In 2 or 3 generations, you could change the world. And because when the children who are in kindergarten and you are in control of the curriculum, by the time they grow up to start going into the work industry, they will have the mindset that you want them to have, right? It's all a form of it. And this also, right, because propaganda is also a form of what you're supposed to be doing, right? And everything we're saying is 100% true. That's why anybody can come on here and prove me wrong and say that I'm wrong. I may not know everything, but the things that I do know, I can tell you is true from like what people can't just, you can come on here and try to tell me it's not, you know, but it still has to be known, and the mentality, a mindset has to be cultivated. It's a part of your culture. Your culture is supposed to be designed to protect you. That's what your culture is supposed to be able to do, right? Like, we can do amazing things. We jam. We can jam. We can do a lot of things, right? And By the way, yo, a sister is teaching me how to play the guitar. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be able to jam, but a culture is supposed to help you have food, clothing, shelter. It's supposed to be able to provide you with a protection. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I appreciate Matron and how she looks at it, because like maybe that is a way that you can put a culture in that is a self-love thing that'll get people easily to buy into. But at this point, you know what I'm saying? Like everything is war. All of us, you know, it should be like men should be going to, but no, at this point, we all have to go. Men, women, children, elderly. And don't ask me why the babies no more, because they don't ask no questions about their babies. And that's for sure. But about our babies, I should say. So shouts out to Cassandra. She gonna be back next week. Y'all support her and everything that she's doing. Realm in the Bush organization. Shouts out to Matron, to Raw in the building, KW Don 7, my brother Guy. Matron is gonna be back live, I think Friday at 9 or 7. I'm not sure. I think it's 9 o'clock. So make sure y'all subscribe to her anyway, so y'all could just catch her when she go live, you know. But she gonna be back on Friday. So shouts out to her. And of course shouts out to Cassandra. And I'm gonna play this because this would be her last words. I can't
Hey,
speak for her, but this would be
shout out to Matron and Cassandra, brother.
yeah. And this would be like Cassandra last words, y'all.
That boy swimming his ass over there. God damn! That boy finna help that boy. Get up there, young boy. Get up there, young boy. Get up there, young boy. Shit, they tore his ass up. They tore his ass up. We got action, baby. He ain't finna do nothing. Arrest that ass. Oh, Lord. About that boat, baby. They ready to move some. They ready to move some. You ready to run? Yeah. What's up? I was talking a minute ago. Yeah. Woo! 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 They scared. Look at them. They scared. Woo! Beat their ass. Woo! Oh my God. Woo! That what you get. That what you get. That what you get. Oh, tie her ass up. Ooh, she whooping her ass. She finna put her in the water. In the water. In the water. Tie his ass up. Cause y'all were wrong. You some. Boop, 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 woo! He ran, he jumped in the water. Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, shouts out my brother Anthony. Okay, yeah, Monday at 9 o'clock with Amos Wilson. So, I mean, damn, Friday at 9 o'clock with Amos Wilson. So y'all subscribe to Matron's channel. Shouts out to her. Shouts out to all of y'all listening. As always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.